So you just twist that and it'll come off. Disconnect these harnesses back here. Okay, let's put this back here. Then I'm going to remove these 2 screws so I can get this off, and it'll expose 3 screws on each side here for the radio that I'm going to pull out so I can get to the back of. Okay, so these should release. So now if you take a look, you've got these 3 screws up each side that are holding the radio in. All you need to do is unscrew those, pull it out, and we're going to get a view of the connections at the back. So after you remove these 4 screws that you see here, here, and here, there's one that I missed that's actually further in here, and if you don't remove that, you won't be able to pull the head unit out and you're probably going to break something. So make sure you get that one as well. Okay, and that slides out nice and easy. Okay, so with the radio out here, we can take a look at all of the connections behind it. And we're going to go ahead and disconnect all of these connections. If you see where this white connection is here, that's going to be the connection that goes into our T-harness for our subwoofer. So as you can see, I've removed the radio and I have only the harnesses sticking out here, and I'm going to continue on to remove the area around the shifter here, or the handbrake, sorry. There it is. So I just reached to the part that's beside the seat here, pulled that away or toward me, then pulled the rest of it up, and the boot came up nicely. So what we've left ourselves here with is a section where we're going to run our subwoofer cable, and it's going to come out just beside the seat here and run down into the carpeting. So the cable's going to route down away from the head unit, around the left side of the shifter, through this gap here, and through here, down toward the seat and the floor. And I'm going to pull out the subwoofer, take a look at how I can run this, and start up again. So I'm removing 2 bolts here, this one and that one. It's a 9 16" socket. I'm going to take those off and then continue. So I'm removing this bolt behind the seat here with a breaker bar because it's a very tough one. There we go. Now it's moving. Okay, so that was the hardest part of the install. It took me about a good 15 or 20 minutes, and that's wiring your sub cable down through the side here, through where the handbrake goes and into the carpet. And then the hard part is getting it through the carpet and out of this little hole here. This is where the wire comes out for the sub. So you gotta reach your hand back there, just push through. This little gap here helped me because I was able to pull the carpet up and push my hand in. Reach under there, grab it, and just string it through, but I don't want to do that again. So I'm going to put the sub in here, bolt it down to the seat, hook it up, and see if it fires. Okay, so this is a look at the sub here. If you take a look at the bottom, there's a bracket here. I'm not 100% sure on how this bracket is supposed to go, but I've positioned it with some double-sided tape. Just keeping that bracket on there, so that it'll the bracket will give me enough space to plug in the wiring harness and still bolt the seat down, and then it's going to tuck nicely under the seat there. This might not be the right way to do it, and I might actually adjust this later on. So I'm going to throw this in there, connect it to the harness there, bolt it onto the seat bolt right here with this, and then put the rest of the bolts back together. Make sure you put these covers back over them once you've gotten the bolts bolted down. I'm actually going to do that after I do the front ones up, just to make sure I don't have to undo these again. And yeah, and then I'm going to continue, install the radio back, and see if everything works. Okay, so I got the seat bolted back on here and the subwoofer put in. It's pretty secure, doesn't move, but it looks pretty far back to me, and I don't know if that's how far back it's supposed to be. So that's installed. Next thing to do, I'm gonna put back in the radio and complete my install, and that should be it. So I'll put everything back together and then test it out. So this is the T-harness. It's going back in where the original harness went. Nice plug and play harness there. Where do you go? You're the hazard switch. So something I forgot to mention is that I put the gear shift lever, or hand shift lever, boot back down. You pretty much just have to put it down the opposite you took it up. Be careful though, because there's potential for this plastic to crack, and you need to make sure you stuff the carpeting back under the center console. I also replaced the gear shift cover, bezel, whatever you want to call it here, back on. And if you notice, I took the time last night to give it a bit of a brushed aluminum vinyl treatment there. Gives it sort of a BMW look, in my opinion. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, and you can tell it's vinyl because I screwed up the corners a little bit there, but those are hidden when that's closed, so that's okay. I'm gonna do the rest of it now. So I also vinyl wrapped these two in brushed black aluminum. A nice texture and a nice look. Pretty excited to see how it's gonna look on here, actually. Oh damn. This is supposed to go on after those.